Why, yes, I am trying to look like either Heisenberg or Indiana Jones. But we're not here to talk about that. We are here to talk about actually the very first volume. One of 26 or 28 volumes of Zatoichi, the Blind Swordsman. Yes. Released in 1962. This is this is a Daiei movie, a Gamera flick that is based on a 1948 epic poem or series of anthology, whose name eludes me at this point. So, Blind Swordsman is hired to try and help eliminate one side of a samurai, and another side of samurai decides to bring in another samurai, but because Ichi himself is actually a masseuse and blind, he kind of has a lower station in life. It's like the only one who actually that he feels any respect from is surprisingly the Katari, the other samurai for hire, which I found like, okay, I like that. And what goes on is just like you're just wondering like, what could this be like? Well, there's not. It's pretty much just one, introducing the character, two, us looking at like, okay, so what's going to happen? Not exactly any mutiny, but the strategies and the planning going on of all the samurai and everything. So it's like, obviously we have one side that's more wild and has 60 of them, and then there's the other side that has 30. And the master of one side of them was like coughing blood. Ooh, that's not pretty. So what follows is, I guess, is the sense of honor. It's like, the samurai have their own code. The Bushido, the way of the samurai, which I don't know too much about because I still have like 5 more volumes to go through. But here it's just, I guess, like what well, I guess one of the central themes was like being a samurai for hire, and like what it means, like saying, hey, you already paid me this money. It's like, are you gonna join us for it? No, I'm not. They're like, you're a coward, you're a bastard, get the heck out of here. So cinematically, there's what I noticed is that there were some distant shots as the most, like, we're spying on them. We're not getting like the emotion or anything from the killers, but from the samurai or anything like that. But we're seeing them, and they're talking and everything else, and being like, hey, we're doing all this planning. We get some nice lateral tracking shots, like towards the end, and everything. We get some nice tracking shots just to see all the chaos and everything that's going on, but in a good way. These were lawless times what was that, when Japan came together. So it was like 1840s, 1850s, I believe. But we actually get to see that Ichi himself is actually I don't want to say a pacifist, but he's presenting himself as a meek, somewhat low station person. So, he's gets to deal with some of the ladies. He doesn't exactly get like a romance going on, but one of the courtesans, like ladies, if you will, is like, they go out for a nice walk and everything. So, it's like he's there to protect her. She doesn't have a lantern, so we kind of get to see like his daily life and everything, and meanwhile, all the stuff that's going on behind the scenes, including, like them coming in with the boats and everything. So I'm like, all right, this is pretty cool. So ultimately, in the end, it's like the two decide to have a duel and everything else. I'm like, okay, and it takes place on a bridge. I'm like, all right, huh. So yeah, he manages to let you have a respectable duel, and Katari, the other, gets stabbed, but done in an honorable way, which I guess it has to do with like the honor of those who aren't rowdy versus those who are, which is definitely one. I could be wrong, so you know what to do. The money that he's paid with is called Mon, M-O-N, which is the uh, lowest currency denomination, which is it's made of iron and copper. He gets paid 3 Rio, which is worth thousands of Mon, which is roughly $1,200 to $1,300. There is a wife there who practices Ohagaru, which is literally means black teeth, which is a black teeth back then was seen as a sign of beauty slash maturity, aka a dentist's worst nightmare nowadays. What else do we? I can't even see my own handwriting. There's like how when if you've seen like Seven Samurai or any anime, it has to do with when the samurai manages to get the sword. It's called like jutsu, which means practice of constant readiness to be able to withdraw and get your sword ready at any time. Finally, there's a person who wants to be placed north at the very end, which is an honorable direction because during like some Buddhist practice and stuff like that, they would be heading north to attain nirvana. So I actually found that to be pretty cool. So yeah, with all that being said, it's like this would be the first of 26 movies that the actor whose name eludes me at this point would partake, which probably in Japanese history is the longest time that one actor would play one role. Guy Desmond, who played Q, is probably the longest in English history. So I just found that to be interesting. So yeah, obviously this is a slow burn of a movie, and it's not going to be for everyone. It's like obviously you have to read the subtitles, and when I saw it was like letterbox to death, and the picture was kind of bad, but I could at least tell what's going on, and the subtitles were cool. So at the end, it's a tale of this blind samurai. So yeah, with all that being said, it is truly 4 out of 4. Great recommendation. Give this one a watch.